is a mood. I feel like this is a good intro to a podcast. It's just naturally fading out.
Well, welcome to Productivity and Procrastination. I'm James, and this is Joe, and we're just a couple of guys who are trying to stop being lazy bums and get their life going on.
Mm-hmm.
If you can relate, well,
you're in the right spot.
Join
You're in the right
us.
place.
Right.
Just let the music fade out.
Welcome to Season 2, Episode 49.
Webster's Dictionary defines productivity. Just kidding.
I was like, wow, this is sounding like professional podcast all of a sudden.
Yeah, it sounds like every presentation ever given.
Right.
Well, we had a week. A week has gone by since our last recording. We had a whole week.
It's
This
good
is
you
old news for
clarified
me.
that, Joe.
Yeah, well, I figure like people should know. One official week has passed. 7 calendar days. Count them. We've got Monday. No, I already messed it up. We've got Tuesday.
Glad you're rolling in with this plethora of data.
Yeah, just a very interesting opening, I guess. All right, James, let's get into the nitty-gritty of it. How was your week? Tell us about your week. Oh, this is why it's weird for me. So I don't get to see your face. There's your face. That makes things easier. I was distracted by other things, not your face.
I see. Well, I had a good Thanksgiving,
Nice.
and it was good. Visited family, played some games, which I won, by the way.
What games did you play?
Some weird board game, with some strategy like color tile thing where you gotta like get rid of all your pieces, block other people.
Is it called Blockus?
No, a little bit better than Blockus, but I played Blockus. But this game is one that this is the second year in a row that they brought it back, and it's the second year in a row that I've won.
Nice. That's gotta
What's
be
really
satisfying.
nice is, yeah, it's like, I'm doing it against a person who owns it, which is like a person who has, like, out in the area, very, very intellectual lady, and it was fun destroying her for a second year in a row. But anyway, I digress.
Nice. Nice.
Oh, it was funny because the first year, I had summed up this game in my mind. I'm like, okay, I need to protect them from being able to see my pieces, and and this gal, she's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, oh, well, I just don't want you to see my pieces. You're like, why? It's a big deal. You can't do anything with it. I'm like, I can. Yeah, and so this year, all of a sudden, she had all these blocker piece things, and I'm like, huh? I'm like, what? What's this? Oh, the company, which is a Kickstarter, I guess. They had sent these with another game, but if you flip it over, it has the rules for this game because they found out that it was something that
Yeah.
was
Advantageous
nice
hide
to
your
have.
pieces. Yeah.
So I'm like, that's right. You know I'm right. So it was fun. No, it was a good week. I always enjoy. I'm very competitive, as you can tell, when it
I
comes
just
to
thought of a
board
new
games.
fun thing to do where together as a group, the four of you pitch, like four people pitch in for a board game equally. You play it that night, and the winner gets to take it home.
Oh wow, that's that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That is cool. That's very cool. It's like a wow. It's like betting. That's really cool. I could get behind something like that.
Yeah, that would be fun.
Yeah. But no. So Thanksgiving was good. Um, and I had a decent week. I did write a little bit too,
That's
and
awesome.
I've been preparing myself for my Thursday, which is coming up. I'm really looking forward to that. Um, yeah, because I'm feeling a little like I want to do some work. So
Mm-hmm. Heck
I'm
yeah.
kind of it's it's taken me a while to get there. Um,
What do you think that is?
just just been having fun,
Yeah.
really, probably, but not really sure of whether or not I want to go for anything or need to or care. Um, you know, I'm but refocusing my life around and feel like yeah, I'm ready to pursue the things I want, and I've gotten a decent balance again in my life, and so I'm ready to go for it. So yeah, that's where I'm at. I feel good.
Nice. Nice. Um, how did it feel taking like what kind of writing did you like? Pen and paper, typing?
I did pen and paper actually.
Really?
Yeah.
How do you feel that compares to like typing it? Do you feel like a
I
difference in your process or?
yeah, I mean it's not my first method most of the time, but I've always enjoyed pen and paper. So it's not like I have anything against it. It's just mostly my hand usually, and I've talked about that before. It just kind of hurts after a while when I write with my
Yeah.
pen and paper. But I do enjoy it, and I've always enjoyed it. And there's just something about that tactile,
Mm-hmm.
feeling and just three dimensionally, just knowing the space, and so you can draw and you can write at the same time. If you needed to like you know do something weird. I do a lot of like lines that point back to things and circle things and various things when I'm like thinking about things. So
Mm-hmm.
that's very nice on pen and paper. A lot better than a word processor for sure.
Yeah.
So it has its advantages. But just being in the mode of understanding, what I want to do and really just like being focused on capturing that day. I believe I don't have anything going on Thursday, and I am looking forward to just jumping in. I don't really want to do anything, except for that. So I'm gonna try hard not to wake up and go, oh, well, it's the morning. I'll just chill with the game for like an hour or two, and then no, I'm just gonna jump right into it, or that'll destroy the whole day.
Mm-hmm.
So just trying to, think about the day beforehand, kind of be in the mindset of longing for it, so that when the day happens, I can capitalize on it. And I just have a renewed sense of, hey, I have like multiple things, multiple pieces I want to work on,
Right.
and I can't do that until I'm done with the first one. So I need to do something. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited.
Yeah, I have an issue. I think a shared issue with you where like it's hard to work on other things while there's something like main in the way.
Mm.
Because like when
And
I'm
maybe a
doing
lot of
my
people are.
yeah, and I was wondering maybe we want to explore that and like what we could do. Like, is it viable to be working on multiple things? Because I would assume it could be something you could do, a person could
I
do.
think
But,
I think yes, but some okay, like for me, well, I'll just instead of talking generalities, like if I come up with a new idea, let's say, that I want to capture, well then you got to take the time to do that. So
mm-hmm.
you're not going to be working on your main thing. Then there's other times where maybe you have two story ideas for me, let's say, and you are writing in one, and you all of a sudden get an idea that pertains to the other. Well, you need to be able to, stop for a second, capture that idea down, whether it's
Right.
something that's just a thought or whether it's like, oh my gosh, I really need to capture this, feeling or something down. Then that could take a little bit longer, and then you need to be able to, transition back into what you were doing. I think for me anyway, I have the first thing I want to do, and I need to focus on that. But if one of those situations happen, yeah, I'm gonna capture, and move on. So I think it's possible, but for someone like me who hasn't really gotten out, you know, a book yet, I think I need to focus on getting that first one done. So that's going to be my prime objective. Would be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. I think that's a good like mentality to have. Like trying to get something finished. Um, but yeah, but you're also keeping yourself open for like you said, like moments of inspiration and that type of stuff too. Yeah. And then sometimes you just feel like working on something. Yeah.
Yeah, totally. I mean, it shouldn't feel like some dry experience.
Yeah.
I mean, at least if we, don't have a hard deadline we're trying to hit, you know. If that's the case, well, sometimes maybe it is a little dry, but, you know, sometimes you got to buckle down and do something, right?
Sometimes you gotta buckle down and do something. Speaking of hard deadlines, I did introduce the deadline for my thing, the deadline channel. So you can go in there and set your own deadlines and have people keep you accountable for those. And then I put my deadline in there of December 7th. I ended up completing my piece the same day I decided to start a deadline for myself. I don't know if
Mm.
that's indicative of deadlines being powerful or if I was just that close to being done with the piece. But I did end up finishing it. Um, I learned a lot, like a lot from that piece. And I will be moving into a new piece, which I must complete in 23 days. So there's that.
So you just chose an amount of time?
No, because that is when Christmas arrives. And
Oh.
it is a Christmas present.
Oh. Well, that's puts another spin on the
So either A, I need to pay somebody else to do it, which I'm too much of a cheapo to do, or B, I have to do it myself. And I mean, I just finished an illustration. I'm not working on anything. I had a plan for something, but I mean, it can take a quick back seat to saving myself $200.
Yeah. That's a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. So, illustration time. I have some general ideas of how it's going to look, but I want to get a lot of like thumbnails down and kind of get the angles right and make everything look how I want it to. I'm gonna be busy.
So I sent you a message.
You sent me a message on Discord?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
And we're live again. Welcome back, James. Welcome back, Schmo. We are here. And we're talking about our processes. Oh yeah, I am going to complete illustration in 23 days.
So you must know what you're doing then and have that all figured out. Right?
Yes. I just have
Okay.
to start it today.
Oh, yes. Nice.
Plan on doing a
Well,
bunch of thumbnails to get everything all figured out.
do you think you can do it?
Yes.
Okay. Well, that's because that's going to shave off months,
Yeah.
right? So,
Yeah.
all right. So you know that.
Months, more like schmonths. Am I right?
Yeah. Well then, awesome. So then, what should we expect your situation to be in a week then, if you are going to complete this in that amount of time? What is the estimation?
I do not know. My goal is to work all day today on it, and then keep working on it until it's done. Hopefully, way before the deadline.
Oh, okay.
But
Awesome.
if I
Well
have
then,
to spend an all-nighter finishing it up at some point, I will do that like a real artist.
wow, it's almost like these words. That's awesome. This guy, he's gonna do it.
I'm gonna do it. And once I've proven that I can make an illustration in a month, then that's my new benchmark.
Awesome. Well, how does it feel having done your first piece? And
So
can you talk about that?
Yeah. So I finished it. It was the lighting was a little simplistic, but that's kind of how I wanted it. I should have done more, but it's fun. It's done. It's finished. I need to move on. I don't want to sit on that same piece forever. But I learned a lot. I had someone do a redraw of it, and I really liked the the stuff that they recommended, but like ambient occlusion, which is just a fancy word for shadows in parts where there's not as much bounce light, which like you know how like if you reflect light onto something, it'll bounce back onto something else. Shadows, it's like shadows for that type of light. Um, and I didn't have any of that, or nearly enough. But yeah, it's basically like a lot of, and then a second light source would have been really good, I think, for that piece,
Mm.
to help sell it. But overall, I really liked how the piece turned out. I think it's, I have a habit of doing dark pieces, which don't translate well to social media because they're hard to, like you have to actually open up to see them,
Right.
which is harder to get. But I did get two people who were not me to like it. People I don't know who they are. So that's the
Oh.
most my art has ever received as far as likes go. So I'm gonna take
And
that
what kind of
as a first step.
social media or whatever did
I
you
I
release
used
it on?
Blue Sky for this one.
Oh, okay.
I've since deleted my Twitter accounts, and I'm liking it so far. So, yeah, I'm excited. I got a lot of work ahead of me. It was I did do a lot of like so I'm playing around with like algorithms and stuff and trying to figure out how the best to like post art. But once I have more information on that, I'll share it. Right now it's just the research phase. But yeah, it was nice to get likes from people I don't know cuz that's like they have no reason to unless they actually like it. Like there's no other reason why they would like press the heart on my piece of art. So, that was cool. Um
So, in general, how did it feel to get a piece done? How, like, the lifestyle of that,
um
moving forward, that kind of thing.
so it felt like a sense of relief as opposed to accomplishment, which is frustrating.
Mm. Yeah, expand upon that.
Um
You think it's just because you spent so long on it?
I do think that is a big part of it. It it's I mean, I would argue I think it looks good. Um I like how it turned out. It's not as good as I want it to be, but it's probably the best piece I've ever done. I don't know. I think the garbage one still wins that. But I don't know. Yeah, I do think there was a certain level of like I got to a point and I was like, okay, this looks good. And then I was afraid of adding more to it because I didn't want to ruin it because I didn't know what to add or what to do extra. And so I just kind of left it as it was.
Hmm. Well, I think there's a lot of, you're like evaluating yourself as an artist from your first piece or
Right.
second, if you'd like to say it that way. I mean, I don't necessarily think that's the wisest choice to do is to evaluate and put all the weight of an artist on your shoulders for like the first pieces that you ever
Yeah.
do. I mean, I think you need to just kind of pull back a little bit and just go, you know what? The act of doing it, how did that feel? And not necessarily like make the decision, should I ever do this again, or do I even enjoy this thing because of the way I feel about the end product and how people think about it or whatever. I think that that's a little bit of a mistake. I think you just need to chill, be excited for the fact that you accomplished what you were talking about, and then this next piece, like you're saying, you're gonna do it in a lot speedier time. So maybe there's gonna be a pullback from that feeling of relief versus accomplishment,
Mm-hmm.
and just see it as more of a progress of the artist itself, and you're moving forward more than I don't know, deciding whether to ever continue. I don't know what you're talking about with relief, so I just figured I'd throw that
So
out.
yeah, so I guess maybe I should expand on that more. It felt like a sense of relief that I didn't have to work on the piece anymore, or a sense of and I don't know how to define it other than just it felt like relief. It felt like maybe it was, oh, I'm not actually like full of crap. This looks pretty good. Or maybe it was a sense of, oh, maybe I'm done with this piece. Or maybe it's a combination of a whole bunch of things. Um, there wasn't a lot of pride associated with completing it. Um, and it's not because I used any weird techniques or anything. I used very replicatable things you could do with physical stuff. I think the issue comes with like I look at it and I see it as a piece of work that is decent, but it's not great. And I didn't know how to take it from decent to great, and so I considered it done. I think maybe that's where my issue lies with it. I did get some help with that redraw on how to, because now that they did the redraw and like kind of explained it to me, I see a lot of like I can walk you through why it's decent, not great, and how to fix it. And so it's like I learned, which is awesome. But I didn't come out of it with like this sense of like pride.
Okay, so your sense of pride, that you need or feel like you want is based on your evaluation of the end result and not about what you're doing then, and not about, you know.
Correct.
So I don't know. I think you're being too hard on yourself, and I think over the course of like this whole next year, when you produce many pictures, I don't think you're gonna have to worry about all of them being quote decent in your mind. I think you're gonna get better and better. Yeah, maybe you might have a decent one strewn in about that you don't exactly love, but I mean, you just said, "Oh, I learned this." Okay, well, that's gonna translate into the next drawing or the next year's worth of drawings. Uh, I don't think it's out of the realm of reality that people could go, "Oh, well, my first drawings that I ever did probably aren't as good as this last 5 years drawing." You know,
Yeah. Well,
it's
no, for
kind
sure.
of, I think you just need to chill out a little bit.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. And I the end product isn't the piece. The end product is what I learned from it. That's what I need to be taking away from this. Like, sure, I made a piece, and but even if I don't like, I'm not in love with it, right? Like, what I did get out of it was so much more valuable, which was process, learning so much about just art in general, and then how to take a, like what steps to take to actually make a great piece. Because it's more than just slapping stuff on a page. It's all about, like, you would know, it's the your composition. Yeah, composition. My composition was terrible. It's just there's a lot I didn't consider and stuff I do need to consider to take my art to the next level. And I think,
All right, so you got stuff to learn.
yeah,
Excellent. I think there's, what you do as an artist and what you're becoming as an artist. It's like the two need to be separated, and you realize that the first few pieces you do, or
yeah. I'm expecting myself to sprint when I haven't even started running yet.
yeah, I mean, you're learning. You've accomplished something now. You've completed some stuff. So that's as much of a end result as anything else. You have to look at you didn't just complete a piece, you became a better artist. So all you're going to do is repeat that process. And in a year, you're going to be a better artist by an order of magnitude,
Yeah. 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 I'm being too hard on myself. Like, I put too much expectations, I think, on this piece, as opposed to letting it be the stepping stone that it was towards better pieces in the future. Like, my value as an artist isn't specifically how that piece went. It's what did I learn and what can I use for the next one.
Yeah, I think you need to just be happy about setting yourself out for a goal as an artist and completing it, and you now have done that. Like, 3 months ago you couldn't say that, really. You didn't complete a piece like this, and so now you have. That's good. That's a great thing. Pat yourself on the back. Allow yourself to have a little bit of a victory before you chastise yourself for not being perfect again.
Yeah. Yeah. What a weird world we live in where you have to tell me not to be the perfectionist.
No. Rage.
Yeah. I don't know.
As long as you're doing the best you can at each point, Joe, how can you really feel bad about that, You did your best at this point on what you were doing. Great. Okay, some person who's been doing this for 12 more years can go over and go, hey, what about the shadows within the shadows? Oh, next time I'll take that into consideration. Okay, well, the next time you won't be looking at yourself like, I forgot to do this. I mean, and so what? But you completed the piece. It's something under your belt now, and then you can move on to the next one. And look, you got a new goal. I'm going to get this done in like a third or a fourth of the time. Okay, well, that's something too. That's awesome. And there's only positives here. I think you should almost not allow yourself to see that. Okay, write down those little things that you have to improve on. Great, but what's with dwelling on them? I mean, shut up! Don't do that. You're not allowed to do that. You can only look at the positives of this first one and move on, because that's what you need, Joe. You need. What is this going on? I'm talking about positives here. This is stupid.
No, James.
You should be perfect, Joe.
I'm working on it, James.
Ugh. Funny.
Yeah. It's a funny world we live in today.
No, that's awesome. And I do think chill and just be happy for what you did. Think about, how you've grown as an artist. Maybe write them down. Maybe have a little journal of, this is what I learned from piece number 1. And just open that up on the next one, And this is how I felt about, I don't know, have a little journal of your art journey, and allow yourself to have to write down some positives too, not just what to work on, because you're the kind of guy who needs a little bit of that positive reinforcement. So allow yourself one stinking moment. I mean, I asked you how it was.
I'll get my moment when it looks fucking good. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, you get on, I asked you how it felt and all that, and you immediately was like, well, downcast and it's like, man, it's just... can't you be happy for a moment that you completed it at least? Goodness.
I have a few pieces that I've drawn that I'm like, okay, I have a sense of pride in that. And it just wasn't one of them.
All right, great. Move on.
Yeah.
And you know what? You did it.
Another
Awesome.
illustration. Time for a new one.
There you go. This time, make it better. I don't know.
Fuck yeah. Yeah, making it better, baby. Yeah, my goal is December 25th to have it finished.
Awesome.
But yeah. So it got finished. I will post it in the Patreon. And probably have if I don't already, I have like a finished illustration section in the Discord. I'll post it there. If we don't have one, I'll make one. But yeah, moving into this next week, it's going to be exploration with the thumbnails, because I have a general idea of like what I want it to look like, and like it should be funny and silly, and I'm excited about that. But I do need to get it done, so I'm excited. I'm excited to start the new piece.
Good.
I'm excited to grow as an artist, to get better, to learn, to have fun, which I do have fun drawing. I do want to preface that. I do enjoy it. I do enjoy painting. I had fun painting. I really enjoyed creating the illustration. I was just not completely happy with the outcome. What about you, Yams? What are your plans for this week?
Have a solid Thursday.
Nice.
That's pretty much everything I've been gearing towards.
Heck.
I have my test results today, so
Oh, yeah. You have to let me know
maybe
how
I'll
those go.
learn more about that. Maybe I'll
Yeah.
sleep well.
They come back.
Maybe,
You slept great,
maybe
dude.
all these huge bags under my ass will go away. Who knows? Um, yeah, no. Looking forward to seeing if that changes my always tiredness.
Yeah.
So, you know, and and really just Thursday solid. That's the most I can hope for. Um, being able to say no if I need to say no to family, maybe wanting to pull me towards various things,
Mm-hmm.
and that's it. But I've been it's just been in my mind. I've been dwelling on it and trying to get myself prepared for the day. And so far, I'd have to say I've done a good job at that, and it's just capitalizing on it. So hopefully next week I'll have some positive news on that.
Heck yeah. All right. Is there anything you want to add before we call it here?
Hmm. Nothing really comes to mind.
All right. Well, thank you guys for listening. We'll be back in 7 days. Count them. With some more adventures of a couple of slackers trying to get productive. Goodbye,
Take it
everybody.
easy.